Okay, video 4 of 28. So let's get straight into it. You already know why I'm doing this, and I don't want to mess about. I want to try and get these videos to as short as possible and as informative as possible, which again, let's hope. So fourth question of the 28, how do we decide if a property is worth recommending? So there's two parts to that. First and foremost, obviously, there's the due diligence done on our behalf. So obviously we will go and spend weeks, if not months, with any developer or seller that's hoping to put their stock onto the market. And we will make sure that they completely stack up in the way of due diligence. And we'll make sure that obviously they've completed previous developments on time. They've never, hit a long stop for any reason. They've never had problems funding. We need to make sure that their books are strong. We need to make sure that the construction teams that they've got in place are, all completely vetted and are reputable and are completely, above board. And we'll just make sure that the risk factor to the client is potentially non-existent in some cases. I can never say that. We've never got a crystal ball. But we've got that much of a stringent due diligence process in place via our, if you like, criteria for taking on a property to sell. And then obviously the second part of that is the client. It's not a one-shoe-fits-all industry. There's hundreds of different opportunities, there's hundreds of different strategies, and there's hundreds of different types of investors. So we're here to ultimately find out what type of investor you are. What type of buyer you are, understand you, we understand the client, we make sure that the client's getting what they need, and that's basically understanding, making sure that they understand the facts, understand the due diligence process that we've gone through up until that point, the reasons why we're recommending certain stock or property. There's always got to be that element of client centricity. I hope that's a word. And I hope that makes sense. It's always going to be based around the client. And then obviously we will find something that the client's comfortable with, or we'll give them a selection of options that we feel as though the client will be most comfortable with. And then it makes it a lot easier for the client to make a decision. So that is ultimately the process that we follow. And I hope I've answered the question again as best as possible. And I've kept it to a minimum. I'm only on 2 minutes 40, so I'm going to leave it there. So thank you again for watching if you made it all the way through to the end, which I doubt a lot of you have done so far. But yeah, thank you again. All right, Lion Rose, live well, invest better. Thank you.